I'm going to go through the findings of Myrtle. You'll find at the front of the report we've got the list of issues that I discuss. I don't necessarily call it out here. It's really I want to bring attention to it and draw your attention to it. So, for example, right at the front of the list is the comment on the foundation that I found no general indication of foundation movement. You know, I looked for sheetrock cracks, brick cracks, outer square door frames, and sloping floors, but I didn't find any of those. There's a little bit of movement in the foundation. Well, I can't be 100% sure of that because I wasn't there when it was built. But when you look at the table, you'll see that there's the foundation actually slopes from right to left, and it's higher at the front, at the rear elevation than it is at the front. And here's the graph of it. You can see here the foundation, that blue area as it rises up, but none of it's significant. It's small amounts. And then we got each one of the elevations that I shot are shown on an individual graph, and then we got the area graph showing the areas that are high and low. There's a little bit of soil shrinkage and erosion at the foundation. That's on all elevations really, apart from the front. I have to tell you, this is how the builder left it, to be honest with you. But I can't, again, I mean, I inspect brand new houses and I find this. They often don't go up to the height of the grade wall that they're required to, and it leaves it like this. So you could regrade if you wanted to. Here I mentioned the grade wall again, and also on the right elevation there's a gutter downpipe that's disconnected and needs to be reconnected. That'll affect the foundation as it is at the moment. The roof looked in average condition, okay. Up on the roof itself you can see a couple of gutters that are emptying onto the roof. Not a good idea. They can erode the roof. So really what you want to do is bring put a gutter downpipe in that takes that water directly into a gutter. We have one penetration that I found with caulking on it. Sort of indicates that there's been some sort of leak or repair work there. However, from time to time I found builders actually cork the corkless, they call them corkless for a reason, the corkless boots, and that could have been done by the builder. It equally as much could be a roof leak, but you know, you can ask that question of the seller. I think it was done by the builder, but I'm going to call it out in the report because I can't make an assumption. The roof attic, all was looking good up there. The walls, there was a little bit of a crack on the right elevation. It's not uncommon to find cracks here. You get these large stone fascias with the wide mortar gap between the brick and the stone often shows a crack. There's various places that you need to seal. Here is here is a water penetration point. You want to keep water out of a house, very important. Hose bib with water penetration, again at the AC equipment on the right elevation. This is the conduit to the sprinkler. It too is got a gap there at the edge that needs to be sealed. On the left elevation, we've got water penetration point at a clean out. And then in various cabinets, I haven't listed them all, but you know, these are minor point, but it's well worth doing it. There's some little gaps at the plumbing points. You need to seal them. That's the gas line under the cooker. That needs to be sealed. Now in the house I found a lot of water penetration at both the first and second floor, at the walls around the windows. The ground floor, I'm convinced it's the sprinkler system. Later on you'll see in the report we've got a call out on the sprinkler system. It's spraying the walls. Most of the walls, literally, I've got loads of pictures I didn't put in. It was getting ridiculous. But pretty well every window on the ground floor had water penetration in the walls. And this is, I believe, the direct result of the sprinkler system. Get those heads adjusted so it's not spraying the walls, and these areas will not get damp. This one here, you can see it actually registered wet, so a lot of water in there. Again, it's the sprinkler system. At the front door, again, sprinkler system. It's spraying into the portico. We have water penetration at the front door, and you can see it. Actually, you don't need a moisture meter to find this. I just measure it because I've got a moisture meter, and I want to know how wet is this area. Ooh, it's wet, and easily fixed, and repaint the door once it's dried out, of course. The frame on the rear door at the back. This is in the master bedroom. That's wet, and we can see the friendly dog peering through the door. Anyway, where it's highlighted, we got water penetration. And then on the rear door next to the breakfast nook, there's water penetration there. One of the closets in the bathroom was locked. I think it's the medicine closet. Very sensible, should be locked. Anyway, I couldn't get in to inspect it. It's only a small closet, but I couldn't get in. And then the caulking. Now this is another reason why we're going to get water in the walls, because the caulking has gone. Caulking is one of those things you need to replace, repair every couple of years. Nobody does it, me included, until I suddenly get out and I look at it and think, oh dear, where's that? Oh, look at that hole. And then I go around and caulk it again. So it really needs recaulking. You want to keep water out of the building as much as possible. Now, because of its age, a lot of the windows don't have weep holes over the top of them. There's been no real damage. What happens if you don't have a weep hole? You can get the steel lintel, which is supporting the wall above the window. You can get steel lintel to rust, and then it expands and it cracks the walls, makes an ugly mess. It hasn't happened with this house. I don't think it'll happen in the future. We don't get enough rain in Texas for that to happen. But, you know, I want to tell you, it should have weep holes there. It doesn't. It's up to you whether you fit them or not. You want to put weep holes in, you just drill through the mortar where the above the lintel with a 1/2-inch drill, and that's it. You've got a weep hole. A couple of screens were missing or damaged around the house. The chimney cap is leaking. You can see the telltale signs there. It's water. It just comes down. It's not been leaking for long because there's not a lot of water showing, but you see the water stains. You want to get that fixed. On the air conditioning units, I couldn't run it for cooling because the temperature was too low. But you've got these conductors going through the cabinets. They need to be protected so they don't chafe against the metalwork and we get a short circuit. I have to tell you that the electrical circuitry in this house is the best I've tested. I mean, really was good. I found one outlet with a voltage drop of 8.4%. All the others were literally less than 5%. I mean, they were 3 and 4%. It was rather reassuring for me because sometimes I wonder about my equipment because I keep coming up with a voltage drop and think, oh, you know, is it really a voltage drop or is it the equipment? You know, I got to recalibrate. So I do. And I get the same reading, and then I think, well, I've got to find somewhere that's got less than 5%. I found it. I found the house. It's good. Over the service boards in the attic, you've got these conductors running. They can get trodden on. That'll give you a voltage drop. Also, if it gets trodden on and damaged, it causes a fire. So, protect those conductors. Out in the outlets on the outside of the wall on the outside should have covers over them. This cover is the type of cover it should have. Note it's broken. It needs replacing. And the lights on the walls on the exterior need to be caulked. basically what happens is water gets into the back of these lights and gets in touch with the conductor, and then if it's raining it can actually energize the wall below it, and you could touch the wall and get an electric shock. That's not good. This is a outlet with an in-use cover. Good, I like that. However, the corking at the back of it is cracked, so it's going to allow water down the back, and again raises the possibility of an electric shock. Here we've got the chimney. It should be bonded. Oh, and you raised in the posting, thank you very much for posting the Angie's List reference, about code. In a report, Trek report, Texas report, we don't quote code. It says so right at the front of the report. That's what Trek tells us. Here's what I do. I don't quote the code because it can be confusing. I mean, code changes both in time. Every year or so a new code comes out, and also the city. For example, Frisco and Plano adopt a different code. And so when you get to an older house, it can be completely misleading to say, oh, this is not up to code, that's not up to code. It probably doesn't need to be, because the city doesn't require it at the time it was built, or the codes have changed since then. Anyway, I call out this, although it is a code, bonding. I called it out because it actually reduces the probability of a lightning strike, and boy do we get lightning in Texas. Wow, it's it can light up the sky. So bonding, which an electrician could do very simply, doesn't cost a lot of money, is a way of actually reducing the probability of you having a lightning strike and a fire. Outlets in the attic should have metal covers, not plastic. Plastic can get broken, then they've got exposed conductors. That can lead to a dangerous situation. Heating was fine. Both of them ran perfectly, nice and warm inside the house, burning up there in the attic. You should really go and have it serviced. It looks as if the equipment has been serviced, but I can't tell. There's a missing sediment trap on the gas line. Well worth putting one in. There's an illustration of what a sediment trap is. I didn't run the cooling because of the temperature of the day. It was below 60. On the actual ductwork around the air conditioning at the plenums, there was a bit of tearing of the insulation. That just needs to be going around and sealed. Stops the cool coming out in summer and the hot coming out in winter. Water pressure was 60 pounds. Good. I ran the camera through the sewer lines. You can see the video. I'm sorry the video's a little bit murky. The dishwasher dumped a lot of hot water into the line while I was doing it, and now I didn't realise, because I can't see it very well when I'm in really, really bright sunshine, so I take it off and look at it in the car. But I saw enough to tell you that that sewer line's in good condition. There's no bellies in it and there's no breaks in it. It also doesn't have horrible 90-degree turns, which was an issue at the other property, wasn't it? Water heaters were in good condition. They're in a closet up on the second floor. So, in summary, everything was looking very good at the time of the inspection. The only thing I really encourage you to do and get done as quickly as possible is the sprinkler system. It is spraying the walls. We're getting water onto the windows and walls, and that's penetrating, and the water's going to penetrate through. And I found lots of water penetration on the first floor. That's the only major thing with this property. Other than that, it's looking very good. Once you get this video and everything, I hope we can talk sometime today. I'm going to try and call you. I'd like you to try and call me. If I'm inspecting, you know, I don't answer the phone. Don't worry, just leave me a voicemail. Tell me when it's convenient to call you, and when I get a break, I will give you a call. I'm inspecting throughout the day, so it's going to be difficult to get me until I'm on a break or something. Anyway, very nice house compared to the one that we saw last week.